Have you ever found yourself knowing exactly what to do, having a perfect plan to know the exact step to take to achieve a certain goal, but you are never able to achieve this goal that you set yourself to achieve? If that is your case, you might find yourself on the dark side of the ruler archetype. So today we are going to see here how the ruler archetype creates self-sabotage. But before we go further, let me inform you that this is one of the videos that we're making here on how the Carl Jung archetype create self-sabotage. So we already made a lot of video on different archetypes and how they create self-sabotage. So you can go ahead and check them right there on this box. But for today, we are going to see here how the ruler archetype creates self-sabotage. Now, before I even go further, there is something that I want you to understand, and that is the definition, the understanding of archetype, right? Because if we are going to talk about how the ruler archetype creates self-sabotage, we must have a understanding of what is archetype. So, like we defined it on previous video, like I said, you're gonna find the link right there. We define archetype as model, as template, as framework, blueprint of behaviors. And these blueprints of behaviors, these model of behaviors, they have been discovered by a psychoanalyst called Carl Jung. So he has been doing a lot of research. He has been studying human behavior, human nature, and he discovered that there are certain behaviors, there are certain way of saying things, certain way we behave in the world that are common across various societies, across various people, so separate people, different people, and they have the same common behavior, the same underlying behavior. And they call these model archetype. So this is how we define archetype. Now, today we are going to see here the ruler archetype. So when it comes to the ruler archetype, a good way of understanding the ruler archetype, which is a template of behavior, a model of behavior, which is the ruler, a good way of understanding it is by having the understanding that whenever that we talk about the ruler, we are seeing ourselves whenever that we act from the desire for control and order. So whenever we behave in the world in a sense where we desire control and order over chaos, we are acting from the ruler archetype. Now, this is a very good behavior. This is a very important behavior because it helps you with discipline. It helps you to achieve a certain goal. It helps you to maintain a certain state to achieve a certain thing in your life. That is a very good behavior that can help you and help the people around you. The problem starts with the dark side of the ruler archetype. Now, like we always say, each archetype, so each model, each template of behavior has the benefit side. So what we call the light side. This is where you see the advantages of the archetype, the advantages of the behavior, template of behavior. But we also have the dark side of the archetype, which is behaviors that can create self-sabotage. So we are going to see here two sides that you're acting from the dark side of the ruler archetype. But before we go further, let me inform you that if you want to stop any self-sabotaging behaviors, we do have a free guide on the description below that can help you to stop any self-sabotaging behavior that you want to change by using only 5 steps, which is the 5 step of the framework mastery. So the free guide is on the description below. If I for free, you can go ahead and download it right now. Now, let us go back into the video. The first sign that you're acting from the dark side of the ruler archetype is what we call the fear of chaos, or even the avoidance of chaos. So, like we said, the ruler archetype is a template of behavior whenever we found ourselves with this desire of control and order. Because here's what happens with most people that has a plan, that has a perfect plan on how to do a certain thing, right? Let's say someone as a perfect plan on how to do a certain diet, right? So they know exactly what to do, what to eat at a certain period of the day, which ingredient they have to mix, right? They know the exact step. So they have a perfect plan on how to create this diet to have a certain result that they're looking for, right? So this is how the ruler archetype will represent itself in this situation. So the person feel that they have control and they have order over the process of creation of this desired result. Now, until this is very good, like we said, because this is a good way of being it. This is a good way of being it. But the problem starts when we fear the unknown, when we avoid the unknown, which ultimately will appear itself in this process, right? So if you don't know how to adapt, if you're only adapting to your plan and you don't adapt to the unknown, to what we call the chaos, you'll not be able to achieve the thing that you set yourself to achieve. And the reason is very simple, is because you always have things that you haven't inspected in your life. So if you don't have a way, if you don't have the skill of adapting to the chaos, of adapting to things that you were not expected, based on the claim you had, you'll not be able to achieve this thing that you set yourself to achieve. Right? So a person whose primary archetype is the ruler, they have this tendency of control, they have this tendency of order. And with this tendency of control and order, whenever it moves itself to the dark side of this archetype, of this template of behavior, we create the fear of chaos. We create the avoidance of chaos. So when we face the unknown, a person acting from the dark side of the ruler archetype will give up, right? Because they don't have the skill to adapt themselves to the unknown. And the second sign that you're acting from the dark side of the ruler archetype is what I call rigidity. So whenever that you stick to the plan that you created to achieve a certain outcome, to achieve a certain result, and you avoid anything that is not part of that plan, anything that is not part of this plan that you created, this is a sign that you're acting from the dark side of the ruler archetype. And this is a sign that you're self-sabotage. So whenever that you find yourself with the desire of sticking to the plan that you created by avoiding any other opportunities, anything that is not on the plan that you create to achieve a certain result, you are acting from the dark side of the ruler archetype. And that is a self-sabotaging behavior, because you must understand that you don't have control over what happened. You only have control on how you react to what happened. So you must have the skill and the capability to adapt to the unknown, right? You must have a plan that is good, like I said earlier on this video. You must have a plan on how to do something and how to achieve a certain result, but you must also have a certain degree of adaptability to the unknown. So if you plan to create a budget a certain way and something happens, something that you were not expecting, because if you were expecting it, you would put it in the budget, right? So if something happened that you are not expecting, you must have the capability to adapt, right? So this skill is a skill that you develop that will help you to grow and achieve the thing that you want to achieve. Because if you stick to your plan only and you avoid any opportunity that is not part of the plan, you'll miss opportunities that could help you grow. You'll miss opportunities that could help you achieve the thing that you're trying to achieve faster, easier, right? And you're missing this opportunity because you're trying to stick to the plan. You're trying to stick to the plan that you created. And you're avoiding the unknown, you are avoiding the chaos. So instead of avoiding the chaos, you should learn on how to adapt to the chaos. So that is a very good skill that could help you to stop this self-sabotaging behavior and create and have this desired outcome that you give. Because a lot of things that will happen in your life, a lot of things that will happen in your life, you will not have control over them. Right? So you must be able to adapt and grow. So these are the two signs that you're acting from the dark side of the ruler archetype. Now, like we said earlier on this video, the ruler archetype is a very good archetype. It will help us to maintain a certain state. It helps us to create discipline in our life, in our finances, in our health, in our relationship. But the problem starts when we find ourselves in the dark side of the ruler archetype. And what is two signs that you can identify? These two signs that we've discussed: the fear of chaos, the avoidance of chaos, and rigidity. Whenever that you stick to your plan, the only plan that you created, and you avoid anything that is not on that plan that you created. So whenever that you find yourself in this situation, you're acting from the dark side of the ruler archetype. In other words, you are using the ruler archetype to create self-sabotage. Now, like I always say, in order for you to stop any self-sabotaging behavior, you must start with awareness. And that is the reason awareness is the first step on the forward of change mastery. What is the forward of change mastery? It's a formula that we created that can help you to stop any self-sabotaging behavior in just 5 steps so you can create the desired change that you want in your life. So you can go ahead and check it as well on the link on the description below. You'll be able to see the 5 steps, right? The 5 steps of the forward and how they can help you to stop your self-sabotaging behavior. So if you want to work with us to help you to stop your self-sabotaging behavior with a personalized plan so you can create the desired change that you want, there is also a link in the description below. You'll be able to schedule a 30-minute calls with us. It's going to be a discovery call. We're going to talk each other. We're gonna discuss your case. You're going to see here, use the framework of change mastery to create the change that you desire. That is all for today, and I'll see you on the next video.